After the war, you went back to the Nigerian army. Things began to work well. There's one subject I want to bring out. The Dimka Coup.
Okay.
The Dimka Coup.
Okay.
You were still active then.
Yes.
What happened?
We have to go back a little. I didn't like to be transferred to Lagos because I just didn't like traffic. But I think I was senior enough after Murtala's coup against Gawan. So I was commander at Abeokuta Depot. And there was a coup led by Murtala. I was one of those you will call Gawan boys. I didn't want that coup. I wanted to mobilize the troops at Depot. And I knew what to do. I will surround Lagos. Murtala himself sent Buhari to come and tell me at Abeokuta to please not move troops because Gawan himself has surrendered.
The same Buhari?
The same Buhari was sent to me at Abeokuta not to move troops. I knew what to do because they didn't have troops.
So you wanted to counter them?
I wanted to counter the coup. But when Buhari came, he stayed the night. And I told him I have nothing to do since General Gawan has surrendered. And so General Gawan went his way. In the meantime, I was transferred to Army headquarters as number 2 to Danjuma. In the school in England, my number was 142. Danjuma was 146. He was four behind me. But when we got home, of course, there was this North versus South and East versus North and all that kind of nonsense. If you were looking for a northerner, Obeya was 145. If you were looking for a Christian, Obeya was a Christian. But Danjuma had been with them in their various schools. So that qualified him.
So he was the chief of army staff?
He was chief of army staff. And I was made the principal general staff officer. The principal general staff officer, I was the second to be the PGSO. The first one was Shua. When you are senior and they're looking for posts for you, they will organize a post for you. And I took that post as the PGSO to coordinate the administration, the strategy, the tactics, and the quartermaster, the logistics with intelligence. Now, I went to meet Danjuma to say, the story is in this book. I went to meet Danjuma to say, look, I don't like Lagos. I would like a house by the waterside. And I would like to use a boat. Don't give me a staff car, give me a boat. They said they were not going to give me a boat, that even the Navy commander, Adelanwa, did not have a boat. Okay. So when I got home to my mother, then we were discussing what happened today, and I told them I needed a boat. My mother kind of listened and took my wife to a friend of mine called Mr. Charles Harding. He was the managing director of the First Bank. They taught me how to play golf with one man at Ibadan here called Roy Douglas Salt. He was the managing director of Caxton Press. They taught me how to play golf in Ibadan here. And so my mother went to this man and said, look, my son needs a boat. Where can she get a boat? Need a boat? The man said, well, let us call him. They said, no, I just want to buy a boat for him. They went to a Papa Boat Club. There was no boat. They went to Ikoyi Boat Club. There is a 6-sleeper, air-conditioned, with kitchen, with boys' quarter, with shower. spacecraft boat. My mother paid for it. Èló lẹ́san ni mi ò ní sọ fún ẹ. That boat, the picture of the boat is in this book. I told Danjuma that, look, things are rosy now. When problem comes, in the military we should look ahead. When there is a problem of traffic or whatever, we will go by boat. He said no. So I started using boat from the house they gave me to Marine Jetty at the Army headquarters. 15 minutes. I will have my breakfast in the boat. I was living well. And I will get to, while they were all sweating in the traffic, I would just go by boat, and I went by boat. So on that very day of Dimka's coup, first of all, I took Dimka to Madrid for sports conference.
You knew him personally?
I took him to be at Madrid because he was in charge of physical education. So he was secretary.
He was huge.
Not huge. He was just an army officer. About my height and build. That's Dimka. About my height and build.
What was his personality like?
It was okay. I mean, he was just a typical army officer, a junior officer who was in charge of physical training. And because he was in charge of physical training, I took him to Madrid and another naval officer, HMB. Then we were three that went for the meeting in Madrid. The Argentina general.
Pinochet?
No, the general in charge of sports that came to Madrid with his team. He had a heart attack and died. So instead of staying 1 week, I think we stayed just 4 days. I told Dimka, because my mother liked pictures, I bought a camera in London. And Dimka liked it, and he helped me to load the film. I was taking the 3 of us from Nigeria, plus 3 from Ghana, General Sam, Edwin Sam. He led the Ghanaian team. So I was taking the 3 from Ghana plus the 3 of Nigeria. I took them to Chinese restaurant. Dimka loaded the film in the camera and forgot the camera in the taxi.
Was he drunk?
No, he just forgot. But when we got to the Chinese, let me start taking pictures. He forgot the picture. Then we went to left luggage area. They couldn't find it. Nobody reported. It was a brand new camera, 1.2 Canon.
How did you feel?
They just advertised it. I was sad because I will have no picture to show my mother.
Mommy's boy.
And then Dimka said, oh, I will buy another one for you. Let's go.
Did he buy?
He didn't have the money to buy the new one.
So why was he saying he would buy you a new one?
Well, then he made his mouth. But finally, we couldn't find the picture. So I said, Dimka, from now on, don't come to my house. Don't talk to me. Just leave me quietly alone. When we get to the conference, everything will be okay. But the general from Argentina died, and so we had to come home. I went through Paris. I just went to see some friends, and we went to Lido and danced and all that. And then I went home. I didn't see Dimka for 1 week, so I sent his deputy, Oresonya. I think that's the name. So I told the deputy, I have not seen Dimka for 1 week. By Friday, if I fail to see Dimka, I'll put him under house arrest. I want the report of the meeting. By Friday, he was announcing dusk to dawn and down to dusk or not.
Where were you when you heard that announcement?
Good. There was so much traffic that day. I didn't see traffic. I was in the house. Danjuma, Adelanwa, Domkat Bali, and their oddlies, they were in the traffic. For about an hour, they didn't move. So the three of them came to my house that we should go in my boat. I told you, the boat will be useful one day, and now it's useful. You take care of difficult things when they are easy. When you have a problem, then you work hard to make it easy. When things are easy for you, think about problems. If you're able to think about the problems, then you solve them. If we didn't have that boat, they would have ambushed all of us in the traffic. So, they came by boat. I saw Rabo, the officer that was assigned to kill us. But Dimka had told him that if they came by Alabi's boat, because they didn't see them in the traffic.
So they were waiting to ambush them in the traffic?
Yes.
The way they ambushed Murtala Mohammed on the road?
That's exactly what they wanted to do. So, Rabo was my student at the military school. He tried to salute. I just hugged him and he had a rifle. What are you doing here? Oh, he said, nothing, sir. I will tell you later. Okay, all right. He saluted and we went. We had the senior officers meeting for that day to start at 9 o'clock. We were talking about 7:45 now.
So Danjuma, the chief of army staff, came in your boat?
They came in my boat. I wrote that in this book. And the picture of the boat is in this boat, in this book. So Akinade was waiting for me in my office. He had arrived earlier. The night before from Kaduna, he was GOC of 1 division.
He has heard about the coup?
No.
By that time?
No. He was just waiting in my office. And in Marine Commando, we had what was called umbrella security, which is for one person. Then we had carpet security, which is for a group of people. Then we had rainbow security, which is like to cover the whole of this your area. If they capture somebody here, we will look at rainbow security, carpet security, and the rainbow may eventually capture the person. It happened. When Adekunle was shot, the Biafrans ambushed Adekunle. They infiltrated wearing Nigerian uniform. The story is here. And when they couldn't capture Adekunle, they got his radio operator. I have the picture in this book. So by the time we alerted the radio, the carpet and the rainbow security, we were able to get the boy back. And Adekunle was firing against these people that ambushed him. So, talking about Dimka, I got to my office. Akinade was waiting for me. The phone rang. Within 15 minutes that Murtala was killed, within 15 minutes, that was part of the umbrella security. The lady called me. Akinade picked the phone. And then the lady said, they've just killed Murtala Mohammed in the traffic now. Akinade gave me the phone, say, look, they killed somebody. Here's your phone. And this person was called Miss Abiodun, part of my security, my own security.
Part of your own security?
Yes. The reason for that was because I was working between the people that know how to do coups. There was Babangida, there was Danjuma. These were coup people. And I was to be amongst them.
So you needed to employ your private agents?
I had my own civilians around me.
Giving you information?
Giving me information of the goings on. And so within 15 minutes that Murtala Mohammed was shot, the phone rang. Akinade picked it up. They killed somebody who take your phone.
So by this time, Danjuma didn't know what was going on?
They didn't know. I and Akinade, we both went to tell Danjuma that there is a coup. We should turn the radio on. We turned up my radio and it was announcing dawn to dusk.
At what point did Babangida come into the story?
Okay. Now, because we were expecting senior officers meeting for that day, so officers were arriving. I went to tell Danjuma that there is a coup and it's organized by Dimka, and I have one of the boys called Rabo. I ran downstairs quick. I told Danjuma about the coup with Akinade, and then I was looking for Sani Sami, who was the Brigade of Guards commander, the commander of the Brigade of Guards.
Responsible for the protection of the
head of state. So I saw Babangida. In Babangida's book, he said it was Danjuma that told him, it's okay. That's the way he saw it. That's his opinion. He can put an adjective to describe himself, but not to demonize anybody. Because if you had said that, oh, Danjuma told me, and a useless Alabi or useless Akinade did not do that, I will attack him.
So the point here is that you told Babangida about the coup?
Yes.
Not Danjuma?
No, I told Danjuma in Danjuma's office.
So who told Babangida about the coup?
It was in that same office. We were assembling for the meeting. So then I said, Babangida, you go and take the armor. You, Mayaki, you go and take the infantry, because we can't find Sani Sami. In Babangida's book, he said it was Danjuma that told him, it's okay. Anybody could have told you. But he said in his book, in Babangida's book, that Danjuma told him to go and flush out Dimka. Flush out is not a military language.
Are you saying?
I told him to go take Dimka, dead or alive, and bring him.
That's what you told him?
That was the order I gave.
Were you the one who gave order, or Danjuma?
I gave these two of them, Mayaki and Babangida. I wrote that in this book, and nobody has said no.
So,
but Babangida said Danjuma told him to go and flush out. I will never use the word flush out. They killed the head of state. They killed the head of state of this country. Why will I tell you to go and flush him out? Flush him out is to make him run away. And it made him to run away. Then in his book, in Babangida's book, he said when he came back, Danjuma told him to go back. You mean the man will be waiting for you? Then he said he took Sani Sami. I was looking for Sani Sami. They said they surrounded the place. How will you have surrounded the place? That's the first thing you will have done.
You know, Babangida also makes the point that at that point in time, he felt the best option was to negotiate with Dimka.
I agree.
At the Radio Nigeria complex.
There is no problem with that.
Because they were civilians.
But you must bring him. You must bring him.
To bring him at that point would have been bloody, because Dimka was armed.
Okay.
And he had his men armed.
Was he not armed?
He was armed too.
And what will happen?
Bloodshed.
There will be bloodshed.
But
they had already killed the head of state.
But he didn't want that.
How will he? It's not his decision to want. He had to take an order. He had to take an order.
But his decision paid off, didn't it?
Which decision?
There was no bloodshed.
My friend, they had killed the head of state. They had killed his orderly. What bloodshed are you waiting for?
I mean, at the Radio Corporation house.
All right, if you surrounded the place, then you hold on. You hold on to the place. You will have surrounded the place. And they will give up.
Dimka eventually escaped.
Of course he escaped. By the time they put the cordon and all that, they allowed Dimka to escape. And I wrote in this book that was a court-martial offense. I gave you an order of what to do, bring the man dead or alive, and you allowed him to escape. I wrote there that it's a court-martial offense.
But he wasn't court-martialed.
Yeah, well, they played North versus South with me. Danjuma just waved it with an open hand. And eventually, when Danjuma and Babangida quarreled, it was in the newspaper where he was saying that he would have been court-martialed. That's the boat.
Let's read from your book.
Read what? Tell me the page.
Let's read from page 437 of your book.
Okay.
You said since 437.
Yeah, yes. This is my boat.
You said since General Mohammed had been killed,
Mm-hmm.
we started looking for who was next.
Okay.
This was the greatest mistake of my life.
Yes.
Instead of allowing those loyal officers who crushed the coup to handle the affairs of the nation to which they were loyal, Akinrinade and I insisted that it must be the next in seniority, and that meant Obasanjo as the most senior in the army then.
That's what happened.
Now, the head of state was gone. This is now the politics to replace the head of state.
Yes.
What happened?
Well, now we put on the security. Now, in the army headquarters at that time, officers come in, they know they cannot come with weapons. They cannot. It was part of the security. I had, in those days when there were coups, they would cut the telephone line. There was no GSM at that time. They would cut the telephone line. So I had motorcycles. I had 4 motorcycles of the army headquarters, with which I could, 2 people in charge of the northern side, eastern side, and the southern side of Lagos. And they were my officers. They were my soldiers. Issa was part of my officer during the Civil War. There's a picture of Issa riding a motorcycle during the war, because there was no telephone. And there are situations in which I don't want to use the radio. The Biafran troops may monitor the radio. I'll just send a small note and send the motorcycle rider out. It was that motorcycle rider, Issa, the name is in this book, that took Babangida to go and carry armor. And the other one took Mayaki to go and carry the infantry. Both of them to marry and meet me. I was going to meet them at the radio station. I was on foot with Akinrinade. We were running. We pick up Rabo, the first coup man that met us at the waterside. Then the next was we pick up Joe Kasai. He was saying, Oga, there is a coup. This thing no concern you. Come out there. I said, no, everybody follow me. And they followed me. When I got to Bonny Camp, the officers these officers and the coup plotters were ready to move on. They were ready to come to army headquarters and come and attack us there. But we arrived. Danjuma arrived before me because he was in a car. He couldn't control them. And when I got there and they found that you did not obey the army commander, you did not obey the chief of army staff, everybody ground arms. Dabang, the rest of them, all of them were many of them were my students at the military school. Oga, don't come and do this to us. They will kill us if they just do what I say. And I told somebody to pack up their weapons. There is an intelligence report on this subject I'm talking to you, that they were unnerved. That Danjuma tried to get there, he couldn't control them until Alabi-Isama came. There is an intelligence report on this subject. So a declassified intelligence report.
How did we arrive at Obasanjo becoming the head of state?
Yeah. I had a public relations officer called Omowa. He was a captain. His picture is in this book. Now, his picture is in this book, page 438. He was my public relations officer. He was a major. When he was promoted lieutenant colonel, Obasanjo took him as he said DC. This Omowa man knows my rainbow carpet and umbrella security. Even if I didn't tell him, he knows what to do. He knew what to do. Obasanjo told him to call me. He didn't tell the man to call Danjuma or anybody, to call me and to tell me that he was at so place at SB Bakari's house, to tell me where to find him. I went and told Akinrinade, the man we are looking for is at so place.
You were looking for Obasanjo at
We
that
were
time.
looking because Akinrade convinced me that he will be the next person, the next senior person. He was the deputy. If they kill your boss, it is your turn.
You said Akinrade and I warned that no one would hijack the coup without a fight.
Yes, because they were trying to hijack the coup.
Who were those trying to hijack the coup?
And Danjuma and Babangida, they were speaking in Hausa. It was too late for them because they now suddenly realized that, Alabi could speak Hausa.
Babangida in his autobiography said that they preferred Danjuma.
Yeah, who are they? Who are they at that time? There was a coup in which himself, myself, Danjuma, Akinrade, 4 of us were in there. Who are they?
But he said in the book that though they preferred Danjuma,
who are
Danjuma wanted Obasanjo.
No. It was because, read on, I threatened them.
The next senior officer must be the next head of state.
Read on.
And that was Obasanjo. But how could the senior officer who ran away during a coup against the government in which he was number 2 come back to lead those who put the coup down? Did Obasanjo run away?
Of course. He was hiding in a civilian. MD Yusuf, who was the Inspector General of Police, told me, he's late now, may he rest in peace, that there is 1 hour missing. At the time of Murtala was killed, and the time Obasanjo went to SB Bakare's house to hide, there was 1 hour missing. At what point did Obasanjo know that Murtala was killed? Has to escape.
He told that story in his book, Not My Will.
And what did he say? I didn't get that in Not My Will. He told the story that what? How he escaped.
Yeah, he wanted to know what was going on. At that time, there was confusion everywhere.
How did he know that there was a coup? What confusion?
He made calls. He made telephone calls.
To who? We want to know to whom he made the telephone calls and who told him there was a coup.
So we have Obasanjo's book here, Not My Will. Let's hear his side of the story. On page 40, Obasanjo says, while I was with Olu, I had told my aide-de-camp to go to my office and ask those to whom had previously given appointments to wait. As soon as Olu left, I hurried in to dress up. I had just put on my trousers when I heard a loud shout outside. It was from the neighbors in the house across the road. They've heard that Murtala was shot close to his official residence, which was just within 1 kilometer from where I lived. I was struck with disbelief and utter confusion. So he first heard the story from the crowd around his house.
My friend, that's 1 kilometer. That's what he said, 1 kilometer. You heard the story 1 kilometer away.
Then he continued. So he now left his house.
Okay.
And this time, he is in Bakare's house.
No. Before getting to Bakare's house, how did he do that?
He left his house because in that, okay, you want us to read for
No, you must read that he had the noise from the crowd. When he had the noise from the crowd, what did the crowd say?
I was struck with disbelief and utter confusion. Soon after, my ADC came in and confirmed what I just heard. He said he saw the vehicle and witnessed the confusion around the scene where the head of state was shot. While still trying to collect my thoughts and control myself, an old schoolmate, Mr. Akoni Amodu, came in and suggested that I should come with him to a safe location. He lived in a block of flats almost overlooking the scene and had apparently also seen the pandemonium when the assassination took place. He was still trembling when he came in. I quickly changed into mufti, as I still could not establish the identities of the coup makers. It was advisable to be as unrecognizable as possible, if only lightly armed. Mr. Amodu offered to take me to his boys' quarters, where he thought I would be safe. I declined, explaining that as much as I needed security, I would also need communication, and perhaps more so, I had nowhere in particular in mind to go. We drove around Ikoyi as we did not think it was wise to drive out of the relative security of Ikoyi. We did not know what could lie in waiting at two exits out of Ikoyi, Obalende and Awolowo Road. It was in this mood of confusion, mixed with fear and anger, that I saw a house which I definitely recognized on Queen's Drive. It was Chief S.B. Bakari's house. So Obasanjo is in Bakari's house now. Let me skip some lines. He says here, I asked the chief if I could use his telephone, and he showed me into a small room. I sat down, and immediately I called the Inspector General of Police number. Alhaji MD Yusuf picked up the telephone, expressing sadness and subdued delight when he heard my voice. He was otherwise an emotionless man with a vast experience in security duties. He did not ask me where I was, just in case somebody was listening in, and I did not tell him either. I asked him to give me a situation report of what was happening. He confirmed that Murtala had been assassinated along with his ADC. An officer who was unlucky to have taken the route I normally took to work was shot near the petrol station on Awolowo Road. The officer turned out to be Colonel Ray Dumeje, who had apparently been mistaken for me. I asked the Inspector General where Yakubu Danjuma was, and he said that until a short while before I called, he was in the Ministry of Defense. So that's Obasanjo's account. What do you have to say?
He hasn't, he sent to me, he sent for me. He told, I wrote it here, he sent his ADC to call Alabi. Abi, the ADC is still alive. The man is still alive. I decided to stay with the others, trying to put down the coup, while Akinrade searched for Obasanjo. This is my book, 438. Now, because I had threatened Danjuma and Babangida that there will be a fight if they hijack the coup.
So,
I wrote it here.
From Obasanjo's story, he wasn't hiding. He was playing safe.
You are Obasanjo yourself. How can you be playing safe when you are not hiding?
What did you expect him to do?
I expect him to call the chief of the army to put down the coup. Are you part of the coup or not? I'm not going to tell you where I am.
He eventually called him.
Wait a minute, he didn't call nobody. I was there. What are you talking about? I was there. All he had to do was, hey, are you also part of the coup? If he was able to get him. Now, you are talking about, he called MD Yusuf. The intelligence report said they couldn't find Yusuf. It was later on that they found Yusuf in his house. He said he was going to his house to stay. The British High Commissioner said he was going to take Yusuf to a safe place. Yusuf refused that he would rather go home.
He said, by the time I called back, MD Yusuf had got Danjuma's telephone number in Boni Camp. Danjuma was in Boni Camp at some point, right? As soon as he hung up, I got in touch with Danjuma and he briefed me about what was happening and what he was attempting to do. So he called Danjuma.
Yeah, he did. You know, this is story today. He didn't want to say he called Alabi-Isama. Yeah, the man is...
Why is it that he didn't want... okay, I can't say he didn't mention Alabi-Isama because I've not read every page of the book.
He cannot mention Alabi-Isama.
Why?
Because he's not my friend. Why this man is still alive? Omowa is still alive. Why did he tell Omowa to call me? For Omowa to be able to call me, he had to call my family. It's part of the rainbow security, which he knew. He had to call my family, and he knew I would give my family the location that I was.
But it seems Obasanjo have his own survival tactics, and he he works for him.
Of course,
he works for him.
Of course, that's destiny. That's what you call kismet.
His strategy might be different from yours.
Look, I am not arguing this point. I am saying, why did he call me?
So did you see him eventually?
Why would I see him? I didn't have to see him. I didn't.
He sent somebody to call you.
Yes.
Did you go?
I didn't.
Why?
I told Akinade to do that while I stayed with Danjuma and Babangida because they were speaking in Hausa. I wrote it in my book.
Did Akinade see him?
I won't know that. Because he wrote in his book that Akinade came to drive him. Akinade came to drive him to his first meeting. Akinade was not a driver. He was the general officer commanding one division of Nigerian Army. So he would have known what we went through to be able to get him to the first meeting.
On page 46 of the book, Not My Will, Obasanjo says, after the general meeting of officers that Friday night, I confided...
Which officers? Which officers will you be talking about?
After the general meeting of officers that Friday night...
we didn't hold any meeting. Which officer will you be talking about?
I confided in Yakubu Danjuma and MD Yusuf that in the mood I was, neither my spirit nor my body could go on, and that the following morning, the Supreme Military Council should consider appointing a new head of state. I said I would help in the search for one and in the process of bringing about stability, but that I was not willing to be head of state.
Yeah, he has the right to his own idea. He has the right to it.
He didn't want it.
It doesn't matter. I didn't know that.
He said it here.
He's entitled to his opinion.
So how did he get it?
All I know is that this man Roland Omawa that I'm calling now, he called me. He got in touch with me. And I wrote in this book. Look, here I said, page 439. I decided to stay with the others. That means Danjuma and Babangida. Trying to put down the coup. Because all these other officers had surrendered to me. All the coup plotters had surrendered to me.
Just as we were thinking, we had a tip-off from Lieutenant Colonel Roland Omowa, who was then Obasanjo's ADC, had sent me a message about the whereabouts of his boss, that he was at the house of a chief. That's Chief Bakari, right?
Yes.
The chief was S.B. Bakari, a well-known Lagos businessman. When Omowa was a major, he was my public relations officer. When I was the commander of 9th Brigade in Benin City after the war in 1973, he was also with me at 3 Marine Commando. He's a very loyal and dependable officer. So what's the point you are making here?
The point I was making here was that the man called me and he knew where to get me. He knew where to, and he knew how to get me.
But one point here is that you and Akuriade put your feet on the ground, insisting that the next senior army officer must take charge.
Yes.
And Obasanjo took charge.
He didn't say no.
He accepted it.
He didn't say no.
Despite your efforts in the war, in the military, how come you're not receiving pension from the Nigerian army?
All right. If you want to know that, it's a small story, but it's a very important question you have asked. It's a very important question. Now, in this book, there is a gazette that was published by the army when Obasanjo was head of state. In that gazette, you will have to look for this gazette. Page 454.
So you want to explain the gazette to us? The gazette is on page 454.
So read below there. Brigadier G. Isama
tried by court-martial and found guilty of offense related to public property.
Okay. So go back to page 456, the next page. Okay, read that.
These people just stress themselves up unnecessarily. It is so nice that General Danjuma also did not expect what happened to him in the hands of the man he swore to go on exile for.
They were quarreling then?
If he was not voted president of the country. Were all this worth it? My simple questions are...
Go on.
Where did the court-martial take place?
That's right.
In Nigeria or abroad?
That's right.
So you were not court-martial?
Where did it take place? They have not answered.
Who was the judge? A Nigerian or a foreigner? After all, the Nigerian army has a procedure for court-martial.
That's right.
So how come this gazette came out?
Well, then that's the country for you. That's a fake gazette. This is a Nigerian government fake gazette.
Who released this gazette?
I don't know.
It was released on the 22nd of December 1977.
That's right.
So is this the reason why you are not receiving pension?
Oh yeah, because they said I was court-martialed.
Were you dismissed?
Check it now, read it. Read that J. Alabi-Isama.
Punishment dismissed from the Nigerian Army with effect from 18th October 1977.
Yeah.
And you were dismissed.
That's what they said. I just walked away. Go read on. I just walked away.
Why should you walk away?
Because okay, you haven't read this book, my bro. That is the problem now. If you have read this book, it didn't start from the Gazette. It started, I went abroad for a shooting competition, world military shooting competition, and I was the champion. At the airport, this secretary came to meet me here. He said, Oga, trouble Deo, what is the trouble? He said, they understand that there are some people planning coups. Who are they? He said, they mentioned Akrade and they mentioned Abisoye. I said, that's a lie. These are not coup type of officers. So I went back to Danjuma, arrived at the headquarters. The man, this secretary here, I wrote the story here. The man told me that they were looking for some documents to incriminate me. Why would they do that? The secretary to Danjuma was his friend, came to tell him, I wrote it here, came to tell him that they're looking for some documents and they will pick up the file, because Danjuma and the intelligence officer Akinola had discussed and the secretary had them. So my secretary took that letter they are looking for. This is the letter here, this one, signed by Akinola himself. They were just trying to implicate me. The story is going back to the Dimka Coup, because I wrote in this that since the Dimka Coup, the conspiracy tide turns against me after Dimka Coup. I was looking for Sani Sami. I couldn't find him. You are the brigade commander responsible for the security of the elder state. I call him at least twice a week. How are you doing? What is happening? Twice a week. What they told me was that I wanted to give Sani Sami some money so that I will authorize some money for him so that he can give me part of it. Emi Alabi, Omo Alaja. give Sani Sami. Who the hell is Sani Sami? A son of an emir, so what? I will give him some money to come and give me. And in this case, they're now looking for this document that I did not sign this document before I left abroad. And therefore I was under house arrest. Is it because of the coup story that is going on? Why would I be under house arrest because of one lousy document? My secretary told me, don't worry, sir. I have made 100 copies of that. Immediately he had the story. 100 copies he made. And with that 100 copies, he distributed to all his family that they will put his master in trouble if they leak out this document. The man kept the document and came to tell me in the house, Oga, don't worry, I have the document. I said, go and bring it. He brought the document. The next morning I went to Danjuma, this is the document you are looking for. Here it is. This whole story is here. I said, beat to nail me begins.
Why?
Well,
why were you their target?
That's right. It's because of so many things. Number one, the Meitesine story. Meitesine has been fighting for the past 4 years. Starting from Kano, Maiduguri, Kaduna, or whatever, Sokoto, Katsina. I was transferred to the army headquarters in 1976 after the coup. I went to tell Danjuma, look, this killing will stop. Let me go and solve the problem. He said, but there's a commander there. No, this is army headquarters. We will have to send the message, send the orders, the instructions, what to do from army headquarters. Anyway, because I had pestered him so much, he allowed me to go. The Meitesine story was 2 weeks. I stopped the entire Meitesine till today. 2 weeks. Everybody was interested in some of these stories. Everybody was making money. It's just like your Boko Haram. They will not stop. This thing will not stop until they got the people who are making money from it.
Who were those making money?
I didn't know them, but I was there to stop them.
How were you able to stop them?
I was able to stop them. I have the pictures in my new book. I went there myself. I wanted to see. It's another long story, but shortly, I went there. The man was a Cameroonian.
Just Mawa.
How can the Cameroonian come and teach us how to be to be Muslim? He said our Muslim was called Bidia, adulterated Islam. And the Islam he was going to teach Nigeria was called Wahhabism. Go get me the man. They said the man had gone to Cameroon. Luckily for me, the chief of customs, a lady of the Cameroon chief of customs, was a student at Benin University. I got in touch with her. This is what I'm looking for. The person had escaped. Escaped to where? He was not in the Cameroons. And then I sent a message. I want to see all of them. The story will be in my next book. It's a long story. But I was able to get all of them.
Were you able to get Mawa, the leader of Meitesine?
I didn't get Mawa. I got every other person, from his deputy, from all the Nigerians, everybody.
Arrested?
Arrested.
Some killed?
100. I didn't kill. No. There was no casualty. There was no weapons held. You have to interview me separately on Meitesine.
Yes.
I have 50 pictures.
It's coming out in your next book?
In my next book.
How soon are we going to read that book?
Well, let's hope. I'm not too sure yet, but it will come out.
How come you have not challenged your dismissal from the Nigerian?
Why should I challenge it? My mother told me, don't worry. It's called Kismet.
Did you lose your rank?
I lost my rank. I lost everything, but I still put Brigadier Alabi-Isama retired. Nobody has challenged me. Nobody has challenged me. Look, Edmund, I'm telling you, nobody till this minute has challenged me.
Because I still have Brigadier General Godwin Alabi-Isama on your book.
Yes, I wrote a letter of resignation. And you know why? Here's my letter of resignation in May. Look at the page.
Yeah.
445.
Yeah.
May 24th. They started writing to me in July. In July.
That's what I'm saying. You should have challenged it.
Why will I challenge? Even I wrote in this book that the what do you call this? The Chief Justice of Nigeria, what do you call them? Attorney General.
No.
Chief Elias, advised me and my mother in front of my mother. My mother went to him to say, look what they are doing to my son. The man just said, look, these people have immunity. Why will you want to go to court with them? And in any case, if you have no job, we'll give you a job. He wanted to give me the managing director of a company called Pilkington Glass. You know, my mother just said, look, that's kismet. That's the wish of Allah. All I want is for you to get home safely. And I'm home. And I got home.
Don't you think you can still challenge it now?
I don't. Why should I?
After all you have done?
If there is a reason to challenge it, of course I will.
How come since then no former head of state have considered your case?
I did not even care because I went abroad and I was so successful. The first money I got abroad, the first money I got after school, I went to school. I went to telecom school. The first money I got was equivalent to my 9 years and 7 months salary if I had remained in the army.
Before we round up this talk, insecurity is escalating.
Yes.
You know, almost all the states in the country have one crisis or the other. Where's Nigeria heading to?
That's their problem. I'm 85 years old. I'm happy to be 85 years old. Why should I care now? I played my part. Let all the youth play their part. I've played my part. I didn't get no credit for it. Well, like we say, the thieves and vagabonds are now, they say they are the superstars. That's what they say.
So you have read this book?
Oh, yes. I even know the man, Dr. Lewis.
The Untold Story of the Nigeria-Biafra War.
Yes.
By Dr. Luke Nnameka.
Luke,
Aneke.
fantastic book. I love it.
You offended him?
I offended him.
How?
All right. Nigeria, as usual, we're very far behind in everything that I ever known since I know myself as a Nigerian. We had no intelligence on Biafra. Biafra has so much intelligence about us. The only way we can get intelligence about Nigeria is from foreign newspapers. So Adekunle in Lagos will come to the war front, he will have bought newspapers from the airport. New York Times, Guardian, London Times, and so on. After reading, we had no photocopy machine or anything we have to return to him. When I started writing this book, I needed the copy. I went to Adekunle. Oh, at that time, it was in a sorry situation. Very, very. He sent for me. And anyway, that's another story. But I told him I wanted this, the newspaper that he used to give us, particularly about Umahia. Because in that New York Times, the New York Times said, what did they put it? That because Biafra won the war at Owerri, and they knew that Nigerian troops, Marine Commando, will come back. So they started thinning out from Umahia into Owerri. So they didn't have enough troops in Umahia left. One division captured Umahia. Now, after the capture of Umahia, the war still didn't end. And, of course, my story was right, because I said, if you capture Umahia 10 times, the war will not end until we got to center of gravity. But the point here was,
with information.
The point I was trying to make was on the newspaper. Adekunle then sent for his son in Atlanta. He was in the US, asking the boy to get him New York Times. But the boy had attended the launching of this book. All the New York Times story exactly here. But Dr. Luke made some comments in this book along with the New York Times story. So when he gave me the photocopy, I just copied it exactly as New York Times. Dr. Luke saw it in America and said, no, these were copies from his book. Then I told him how I got the copies. In the meantime, Adekunle had died, the son had died, but I had the photocopies. Dr. Luke is a very nice man. He could have charged me for plagiarizing his book, for copying his book. But he followed me to Spectrum Books, where we had photocopies in there from my script, which they published. That was what saved me. If we didn't find the photocopies, probably I would have copied it from his book. But it was the photocopy they sent to me that gave me what I wrote in my book.
So are you recommending this book to readers?
Oh, this is the best book anybody. It's a chronological story of how the war started and how it ended. It's a very good book.
It's like a Bible on my table.
Very good book.
Very good book to read. The Untold Story of the Nigeria-Biafra War.
With dates to go with it.
A chronological reconstruction of the events and circumstances of the Nigerian Civil War.
That's right.
If you've not read this book, you've not read every work on the war.
It's a very good book to read. Very good book.
This is another book to read again, again, and again. The Tragedy of Victory on the spot account of the Nigeria-Biafra War in the Atlantic Theater by Brigadier General Godwin Alabi-Isama.
There are 500 pictures in this book. There are documents, there are maps, strategy maps, tactics maps, everything in this book. I have more than 10,000 pictures that I have not used at all. In my second book, I'm going to use 700 pictures.
How big would that book be?
It will be more of pictures than scripts.
A picture tells 1,000
yes,
stories.
It's the picture that I will be telling the stories. The pictures I'll be telling the stories. And you will love it. Because it also has the classified foreign information on Dimka, on the Civil War, the part that everybody played. The part that everybody is a declassified documents, intelligence documents of foreign countries.
Wow. General Alabi-Isama, thank you for featuring on State Affairs.
I'm very happy to see you, Edmund, and I'm happy on this interview. You've made so much effort to reach me, but here we are. I thank God that I'm able to make it to your studio today. There's so much to talk about the Civil War. We haven't talked about Udenwa. We haven't talked about...
We have mentioned Udenwa already.
Yes, because Udenwa's book was very correct, absolutely. That was one of the reasons why Biafra lost the war in Owerri. He was ordered to go and attack Rosemary Secondary School or something. When you have surrendered troops, you don't need to capture. It's like, I've captured this building, then I'll be entering the rooms one by one. You would die of hunger inside if you didn't come out. But thank you for having me on this program.
Thank you.
I'm very pleased. I'm always, wake me up at midnight. I'll tell you this story all over again.
Yes.
The Scorpion strategy, the dilemma strategy to Bubra, the strategy to Udukwani, the Pinza 1, 2, and 3.
You will describe one or two strategies on the board. Let's see.
I'll be ready to do that.
Thank you, sir.
Wake me up anytime, I'll be ready to do that.
Thank you.